Greetings, my lovelies, and thank you for stopping by the circle today. It is time yet again for another booktube wrap-up, so let's roll right on to it. But I also have some big news, so please make sure you stick around to the ending to find out. So during the month of February, I read 5 books, and I will have to say that this month was a little bit better than January because there was only one book in the month of February that I didn't finish, and it really wasn't that book's fault. So the basic summary of what I read is I read 1 webtoon, 2 fantasy novels, and 2 young adults. So let's go and get into it with the one that I didn't finish. So for those of you who don't know, in an effort to create more diversity in the literary genres of fantasy or just in general, Rick Riordan is fostering young writers who are of these different cultures. And I know this is a really shitty sort of explanation, but basically he's like, everyone needs to be represented. So here I'm going to endorse these authors who may not have otherwise been picked up so that everyone can see themselves in a story, and Race to the Sun is one of those stories. The only reason why I didn't finish it is because A, I'm not really this book's demographic. I am not a young Native American person, so some of the things it just didn't really resonate with me. And 2, I had read another book in a similar field prior to reading this, and there's just only so much snarky little kid that I can take because they all end up kind of sounding the same. However, I love the idea of this, so please don't take the fact that I didn't finish this as that it is not good. It is. You just go through slumps sometimes, and this book is an unfortunate circumstance of the slump. So now on to what I did finish. It's actually a webcomic from Webtoons, and if you don't know what that is, Webtoons, where people make these awesome comics, and yeah, I read a lot of them up there. Ghost Wife is one of those, and this is one that I wasn't really quite sure on when I first started it because it was kind of a little weird, a lot of hee-hees and weird noises, and I was like, okay, what the fuck is this thing about? But as it went on, I got involved into it just because it sucked me into the story. And then by the end of it, I was so upset that it ended. But yeah, go check it out. I'll provide the link for it down below so you can read it and find out for yourself. And if you've never heard of Webtoons, you are very welcome. It's going to take over your life. The next book that I read was The Daughters of Temperance Hobbs. Now this book is the sequel to the physics book A Deliverance Dane, which is one of my all-time ever-loving favorites. I'm not going to go too far into this book because I am going to review it later, so you'll just have to be on the lookout for it there. But it basically involves modern witches with a dual storyline set in the past. It was a meh book. I think it's just the reason why I didn't enjoy it as much is because it seems like the character did a complete 180 from where she was before. But like I said, I'm going to go into this later, so let's just roll on to the next book, which is Game of Stars. Now Game of Stars is the second book in the, and I'm going to butcher this name and I do apologize, Kiran Mala and the Kingdom Beyond. Now this is a young adult mythology telling of the Indian persuasion, and it's kind of cool. I wasn't really 100% in love with the series to begin with. I read the first one, The Serpent Secret. I bought them at the Scholastics Book Fair, and that's one perk of being a teacher is you still get the book fair. Haha. It's cool. Kamala is not Kamala, good lord. Kiran is a very interesting character. She struggles to balance between who she is and a little bit of her regular life, which is kind of interesting because she's not so concerned about fitting in. She wants to be a part of this new world, the Kingdom Beyond, that she has discovered because she feels like that's where she truly belongs. So hey, that's kind of a nice little twist on it. There's a lot of metaphysics stuff in there, so they talk about neutron stars and a lot of science mixed in with the mythology, and that I think may be a reason why I don't resonate with this character as much, because while space is cool, it's not my jam. And there's a lot of like parallels between, you know, what Hindu legends are and astrophysics. So it's really weird, but give it a go. And the last one that I finished was When Witches Bleed by Casey L. Bond. Ha! This book. I am also not gonna go into this one because I will be reviewing it later, and I'm always gonna kind of be behind the fact because her newest one, Omen of Stones, is getting ready to come out soon-ish. I saw the proof for the books and it looks fucking amazing. But Casey Bond is one of my favorite authors and she's a darling, darling dear, and I just love chatting it up with her. But this book is like a mix of so many different genres. There's magic, there's kind of like almost a Hunger Games aspect to it, plus like, what's that one young adult book to where the prince has to like choose a bride? I don't know. I haven't read that one yet, but yeah, this book was good. Go get it. So, those are the books that I read in the month of February. Comment down below to let me know what you read, and if you read any of the ones in this list, please let me know so we can geek out together. So now that the Serpent's Coils is kind of off into other people's hands, it's off to my editor, the book cover is in its process of being designed, and all that fun jazz, I actually have some breathing room, and I don't really want to jump from the Serpent's Coils right into book 2, because when I do that, I tend to get burnt out. But I don't want my creative juices to dry up, so what's a girl to do? I'm gonna host a Patreon promo. So, if you don't know what Patreon is a platform where lovely people like you get to support lovely creators like me to help us create more badass shit. And in return, we give you some badass shit. So one of the complaints that I've kind of seen on other videos from authors is like top 10 annoying things that people do when they tell you that you're a writer. And one of it is like, can you put me in your story? And we're just like, no, I have my own effing characters, right? Well, here's your chance. Become a supporter today of my channel on any tier, and I will turn you into the main character of your own short story. You will receive a questionnaire to where you give me your character's name, age, what pronoun they are, like, you know, whatevers. You get to choose your type of story, so that's fantasy, fiction, horror, dystopian. Blending of these genres is encouraged. Now this short story is going to be roughly between 1,000 to 2,000 words, and give me like roughly a month to sort of get to it as I filter through these, and I'll try to get them out as fast as possible. So I'm running this special promo from today right on to March 21st. So if you want to have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become your very own fictional character, go ahead and click the link below and become a Patreon supporter today. That's all that I have for you today, and I will see you all later on the circle. Bye!